Life is often compared to a river, but most people misunderstand this metaphor. They think life is about controlling the river, forcing it to go where they want. But the truth is, the river was never meant to be controlled. It was meant to be understood. Imagine two people dropped into the same river. One panics, fights the water, wastes energy, and eventually drowns in exhaustion. The other observes the current, adjusts their movement, and lets the river carry them forward while gently steering themselves. Both are in the same water, yet their experiences are completely different. The difference is not strength. It is alignment. Now here's where it gets deeper. Most people are not lost because they lack ability. They are lost because they lack direction. Think about it. If you get into a car and start driving without knowing where you are going, even a smooth road will feel frustrating. Every turn becomes confusing. Every delay feels painful. But the moment you set a clear destination, something changes. Suddenly, even obstacles feel meaningful. A wrong turn is no longer failure. It is just part of the journey. This is what goals do. They don't restrict you. They guide you. They give your mind a sense of purpose, like a compass in a vast ocean. But here's a secret your competitor didn't fully expose. Flow is not about chasing goals obsessively. It is about becoming the kind of person who is naturally pulled toward them. There is a difference. When you force yourself, you feel resistance. When you align yourself, you feel momentum. Imagine a magnet. It does not chase metal. It simply attracts it. When your actions align with your deeper desires, your energy changes. You stop pushing, and things start pulling you forward. Have you ever noticed how distractions feel stronger when you are doing something you don't care about? But when you are doing something you love, even your phone loses its power over you. That is not discipline. That is alignment. True focus is not forced. It is natural. It happens when your mind, your emotions, and your actions are all moving in the same direction. In that state, concentration becomes effortless. You are not trying to focus. You just are focused. And when this happens, something almost magical begins to unfold. You stop thinking about yourself. Not in a negative way, but in a freeing way. The constant voice in your head that says, "What will people think?" or "Am I good enough?" starts to fade. You become fully present in what you are doing. A writer becomes the words. A speaker becomes a message. A creator becomes a creation. In that moment, there is no fear, no doubt, no hesitation. Just pure expression. This is where most people get it wrong. They think confidence comes first, then action. But in reality, it is the opposite. When you lose yourself in meaningful action, confidence appears as a side effect. You don't build confidence by thinking about yourself. You build it by forgetting yourself. And then comes one of the strangest experiences of all. Time begins to change. Not physically, but psychologically. Minutes stretch or collapse depending on your state. When you are bored, even 5 minutes feel heavy. But when you are in flow, hours feel like seconds. It is as if time itself respects your level of presence. The deeper you go into the moment, the less control time has over you. Think about what this means for your life. Most people complain that they don't have enough time. But the truth is, it is not about having more time. It is about experiencing time differently. A single hour in flow can feel more fulfilling than an entire day spent distracted. So the real question is not, how much time do you have, but how deeply are you living the time you already have? Now here is another layer that most people overlook. Flow is not just about feeling good. It is also about growth. Imagine playing a game that is too easy. You get bored. Now imagine a game that is too hard. You get frustrated. But when the challenge matches your skill level perfectly, something incredible happens. You become fully engaged, not overwhelmed, not underwhelmed, just engaged. This balance is where transformation happens. Because when you operate at this edge, you are constantly stretching yourself without breaking yourself. You are growing, but it does not feel painful. It feels exciting. It feels alive. And this is why people who live in flow often improve faster than others. They are not forcing growth. They are enjoying it. But let me ask you something. How often do you actually listen to feedback in your life? Not just from others, but from yourself. Every action you take gives you a response. Every decision creates a result. Most people ignore this. They repeat the same patterns, hoping for different outcomes. But people in flow are different. They adjust constantly, like a dancer responding to music. They refine their movements based on what they feel. This creates a powerful loop. Action leads to feedback. Feedback leads to adjustment. Adjustment leads to improvement. And improvement pulls you deeper into flow. It becomes self-reinforcing. The more you engage, the easier it becomes to stay engaged. And then, something even more powerful begins to develop. A sense of control. Not control over everything, because that is impossible, but control over yourself. Your reactions, your focus, your direction. Life will always throw unexpected situations at you. That is unavoidable. But your response, that is always within your power. There is a simple method you can use to strengthen this control. Recognize when you feel lost. Reflect on why you feel that way. And then redirect your focus towards something meaningful. It sounds simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Because awareness is a first step to change. Once you see what is happening, you can choose a different path. Now here is the most important truth of all. Flow is not just a moment. It is a lifestyle. It is a way of approaching everything you do. When you start living like this, something shifts inside you. You stop chasing outcomes obsessively. You start enjoying the process. And ironically, this is when results begin to come faster. When you fall in love with the process, the outcome becomes a byproduct. But when you obsess over the outcome, the process becomes painful. And this is why so many people burn out. They are constantly chasing something in the future, while ignoring the present moment where life is actually happening. So what would happen if you changed this? What if you started focusing on the now, on the action in front of you, on doing things that truly resonate with who you are? You would start experiencing life differently, not as a series of problems to solve, but as a journey to engage with. And here's the final realization that changes everything. Flow is not something you find. It is something you allow. It is already within you, waiting for the right conditions. Clarity of purpose, alignment with your passions, deep focus, balanced challenges, openness to feedback, presence in the moment. When these elements come together, flow emerges naturally. And once you taste it, even for a moment, you will understand why some people seem unstoppable. It is not because they are special. It is because they have learned how to align themselves with the current of life instead of fighting against it. So the next time you feel stuck, don't ask, why is this so hard? Ask yourself, am I fighting the river or learning how to flow with it?